Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the True Earth Debate number 6 watch party. I will be in the chats chopping it up with you all. I have everything loaded up and ready to go. Don't forget to grab your bag of True Smacks. Have your fact checks ready with the Flat Earth, Sun and Moon, and Zodiac Clock app resource. And I will see y'all on the other side. Enjoy the show.
Thank you for joining us. We are in for another exciting episode of the True Earth Debate. So pile on in, share the show. We're going to get things kicking off here in just a bit. Want to get it going here as soon as we hit 100 guests or as soon as we get a guest in the box, whichever comes first. But thank you all for being here. Welcome to the True Earth Debate. In the comments, go ahead and put a smiley face if you are questioning the current model of the universe, or put a sad face if you're lame and you're only considering that we're living on a spinny flying space ball. 143, just like that, man. That's how popular this is. Everybody wants to get in on the action. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the True Earth Debate. We're happy to have all you here. We got one smiley face so far. I'm going to announce it one more time. Going to do a quick poll. Mama needs a dab. If you do that for me, lightning poll, smiley face for True Earth, crying face for Globe Earth. Fun stuff. Welcome, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, to the True Earth Debate. And of all 300 of you in there, I'm sure there's somebody in there who would like to have the conversation, who'd like to defend the flying space ball. We're pretty cordial in here. If you're new to the channel, if you haven't been here before, then be sure to give a follow, because every Tuesday, 10 p.m., we're going to go ahead and kick off another exciting True Earth debate. We are excited. So excited, but I'll be even more excited once we have a guest in that box. So if you are a Globe Earther and you got some facts on your side, feel free to jump on into the guest box. We'll be happy to have you. Ray Trod. That's a happy face. Not sure which one that is. Globe. That's okay. It wouldn't be much of a debate if we didn't get folks from all different backgrounds here. Yeah, most people can't defend the globe. I'm seeing. It's pretty funny. Pretty fun stuff, but that's why we're here. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the True Earth Debate. It's not much of a debate if there's nobody jumping in or no points being made. So if you don't have enough followers to jump in the box, then go ahead and just post your point in the comments, and maybe it'll get read. Flat Earth or else, pretty much. I tend to believe that we're a flat, geocentric model of the universe. And so I think that's backed up by a couple different observations, one of which is that we actually aren't able to measure the curvature. So, really fun stuff. You want a true earther in there? Absolutely. I usually try to keep it even. 2 true earthers and 2 globe earth zealots, we'll say. Now, I promise I'll be super fair. Actually, I'm more of a moderator position once everything gets going, but okay, we got our first guest, Copenhagen. Welcome to the show. What do you have for us today? Are you a globe earther or a true earther?
I'm definitely a true earther.
Awesome, man. Awesome. What do you consider to be the true Earth cosmology?
Uh, I kind of just stumbled upon Martin Kinney's cosmic egg theory, and to me, that one's speaking big facts to me. But I don't know. I'm not fully into any model, I guess you could say. I mean, they all kind of have plenty of research and stuff to back it all up. Nobody knows for sure, really. Damn sure ain't a globe.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't think anybody in here can claim to have 100% of the answers. So, as far as like the cosmic egg theory, go ahead and enlighten me a little bit more on that. Is that the same as the concave Earth theory, or is that something different?
No. So the cosmic egg theory is more like so the firmament is more of a egg versus a just like a dome over a flat plane. Um, and instead of there being just, you know how we see the maps of Infinite, Terraria, or whatever, where there's outside of Antarctica, there's one ring that has like 4 or 5 lands, and then another ring outside of that that has more lands. Well, it's like that, except on outside of Antarctica, it kind of lowers, and it's a lower frequency. It goes into vibrations and frequencies and how um life can be in several different frequencies and just one frequency. And the more love and the higher we vibrate in life, and the more we learn and teach and love everybody versus hating one another, is the higher we vibrate. And if per se you do good, or so to speak, or you raise your vibrations in this life or your frequency in this life, then allegedly you can either choose to go higher or choose to stay here, so to speak. I've only done a little bit of research into this theory, but it's got some pretty cool tidbits in it and stuff.
Awesome. Yeah. What was it called again?
It's Kenny Martin's cosmic egg theory.
Kenny Martin's cosmic egg theory. I'll do some of my own research on that. That seems pretty interesting. So it's like we're on a flat plane of inertia, but with instead of it just being the dome on top, it's like an egg.
Well, everything is still inside of the dome. It's just how it laid out, dude. Like, I've been looking at Jupiter right next to the moon the past few days, and his theory is that Jupiter and Mars are actually that next rings outside of our known lands. Mars would be that first outside ring from Antarctica, and Jupiter would be that next ring outside of that. And whenever you hear Elon Musk talking about going to Mars, he's really talking about leaving this Earth and going to that next band of land on the outside. And Mars would be their sun. And the reason why it looks like Mars is because it's a different frequency than our sun. So it pops through the firmament. You can see it because it's so bright and so high up in the air to them. But it through the atmosphere, through the firmament, and through everything, we no longer see it. He also goes to talk about the Van Allen radiation belts are actually toroidal fields, starting from the center point, North Pole having the smallest one, us to Antarctica having one that's kind of rotating above us, the one outside of that rotating above us. And it's like how he.
Gotcha. You're giving us not to cut you off, but you're giving us quite a bit for someone who hasn't done the research on this. So, before you get like too far into it, I just want to welcome the other guests to the show. Our Earth is bigger. Welcome, brother, to the show. Thanks for joining us. American Ape, thank you for joining us, and James Lindsay, thank you for joining us. I appreciate y'all being patient. Really quick up the line, our Earth is bigger. I think I already know where you stand, but go ahead and let the audience know your cosmology position, and try to keep. I'm gonna since we got more guests in here, we're gonna try to keep it to like 2 minutes, like the biggest thing that led you to that position, and then pass the mic.
Okay. So yeah, I think it was about 9 years ago that I saw a BBC documentary, which I think it was called "It Was Only a Paper Moon Landing," or there's another title for it. I'm not sure, but it was a very nice lady that narrated. It showed how like very stupid the moon landing was. And yeah, that was after Monsanto's glyphosate, and 9/11, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So after that, I was like, oh my God, this is also fake. Why would they fake this? And after that, I literally think that Antarctica is the border of our seas and it's way bigger. There's no other reasons why there's 83 military bases there and there's more land beyond that, basically. So it's flat and bigger. Could be Could be spherical. I don't know, but maybe 100 times bigger of what they say. We don't know because we're not out there. We cannot go there.
Fair enough.
Yep, that's about it.
American Ape, go ahead, man.
Earth is flat. I mean, I've jumped 18,000 feet. I've done all sorts of extensive work on stuff like that. I've never seen it curve.
Fair enough.
If you look at rivers, right? They flow downhill. You go to certain mountains in Tennessee, in the spring, according to a curvature chart, shows it flowing uphill. There's all sorts of stuff. What I find crazy is like the theory of gravity, right? Just real quick to talk about that, right? Everybody says it works off of gravity. I'm looking at density and electromagnetism. If I said that right, I probably butchered it. Got this lip in my mouth. But anyway, you can look at the studies done on it as far as sound frequencies and electromagnetic frequencies to make things that levitate. Like gravity just disappears. I have seen a lot of the older maps as far as the extra rings outside of our ring, and they talk about other lands that Vikings had talked about going to. There's a lot to it, but it's all based on control.
Very well said. James Lindsay, go ahead.
All right. I'm gonna give you guys a little treat of what I am. In 1995, I learned how to leave my body. I bought a book that talked about out of body experiences, and I bought the book, took it home, read the first 14 pages, then laid down to have a out of body experience because I'd never heard of it, and left my body. After that, I left my body consciously, and then I came back, awoken in my room. I left college and started studying this book and having out of body experiences. In some of my out of body experiences, I've went up into the upper atmosphere of the Earth and looked at the Earth, and it was round. And I guess that's it.
When you say round, what do you mean round?
Round or spherical?
Spherical.
So you could see the other side.
No, I was only on the. I only was where I was in the atmosphere, where I could see a circle of a blue planet, right?
So did your eye change? Like your physical eyes changed? Because our eyes can only see. So if you take a round ball, and I move it 30 feet away from you, you can only actually see that it's a
Right.
two-dimensional circle.
Right. You're right though. Like you're right. Like I could only see a flat circle, like from the aspect of which I saw, from what I witnessed from my own experience.
Oh look, he's doing it. He's doing it. He's doing the thing with the ball.
That's true.
Right. So, but the thing is, though, from after journeying out of my body for many years and learning how to merge these two worlds, the astral plane where we dream and the physical world, and seeing the correlations between them both, after more than 20 years of astral projecting, I've been able to manifest balls of light in my pictures. If you take a picture of me, these balls of light appear. Now, they could be flat, coming from an aspect. Okay, if you're out of your body and looking at my pictures, they could be a flat circle, but I don't know what to say though, because flat earthers and people who think the earth are round, I really can't say which, because I've only known from my own experience.
So can I ask questions about your astroplaning?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they're self-induced, correct?
Sometimes they're spontaneous, yes.
Okay. I'm not doubting your out of body experiences. I've had one in my
Like
entire life.
sometimes I no, sometimes I could be in a dream. Sometimes I could be in a dream and wake up in the dream and turn it into an astral experience, an out of body, realize that I'm out of the body, and either I could go along with the dream or I could stop and let everyone go away and still be by myself out of the body.
I'm familiar.
Okay. I've had one experience in my entire life. I have it on video. I was choked in a guillotine choke for almost 2 minutes. And I remember looking at myself. The referee didn't catch it because when I passed out, my hands were inside the choke and my eyes were wide open. So the referee thought I was still fighting it. I remember sitting back and looking at myself, telling myself, get the fuck up, fight. And I remember being outside of myself. I did study on that. When you, yes, I have it on video. It was crazy
Wow.
because I remember seeing everybody there, my girlfriend there at the time. I could hear her talking, all this other stuff. And then I remember going back to my body when he let go of the choke. And the referee was crying because I wouldn't wake up. On the video, I wouldn't wake up for like 15 seconds. He's shaking me, and she screams at him, pick his legs up. All the oxygenated blood in my legs goes back to the brain and wakes you back up. Something we do all the time. I mean, my ears are all caught. I've been fighting for a long time. Anyway, doing research on that, it is DMT that gets pushed into your system. It is something that happens whenever you experience near-death experiences or you are experiencing death yourself, right? It is generated inside of your liver, your lungs, and different other parts of your body, right? It is also to help ease the pain of death, right? So that's why you can see something such as an animal fighting for its life and you know it's about to die.
Right.
It knows it's about to die, but it continues to fight because it overrides its entire system for the preservation of life. Now, talking about the astroplaning, it's interesting how astroplaning and DMT go hand in hand. Like the ayahuasca tea trip experiences that they have, or the synthetic DMTs that they're using, or the acacia bush that you can burn and inhale, like marijuana, and
I'm
you can
sorry.
experience.
I'm sorry. Tribune, can I go out and come back in a bit? Like 2 minutes. Thanks, boss.
So,
Sorry, American.
no problem, bud. No problem. So I find it very interesting when I hear astroplaning, and I like to know what they did to experience said experience. So
Right.
it's just
Right. Like
What
interesting.
it can happen to so many people. Like when they're about to
Mhm.
die.
the question I think before we get back to the True Earth topic would be, what book was it that you were studying that allowed you to just go ahead and do it after a couple pages? That's pretty
Right.
impressive. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. Right. It's called The Psychic Explorer, written by V. Van Dam,
Take my money.
and he learned how to leave his body serially, which means in and out. Like I don't know how the fuck he did it, but because I can't do it, and I've been reading this book for over 20 years, and but it has guided me. This book has been my ground for my own exploration of the universe.
Very
What's
cool.
your diet like?
Oh, I eat people, I eat dogs, I eat everything that's not meat. I'm
You
just
eat,
kidding. I'm just kidding.
well, the reason
I'm
why I brought that
vegetarian.
up,
Vegetarian.
is they talk about the calcification in the pineal gland, which is part of the brain that the DMT starts to resonate in. So that's why I was asking.
Let Love Lead, welcome to the show.
Right.
I saw your
Well, in
comment.
my own experience,
Let the just one second, James. I saw your comment. Let the geographers in. So I decided that perked my interest. So here, I'm glad to let you in.
Yes, I just joined a couple of minutes ago. What's the debate really about? Is it about the flat Earth debate, spherical Earth argument? What's the topic?
Yeah, we are debating Earth cosmology, but we kind of got to the topic of astroplaning since James Lindsay claimed to be a rare participant. So we were picking his brain a little bit. But welcome to the show. And they're gone.
Damn, crazy. I was just about to ask some questions about the ratio of curvature.
I was.
that,
Yeah, that was good. But our Earth is bigger does have first dibs, so I'm gonna let him back in because he did say he'd be right back. But I'll just for a moment I'll share my own personal experience briefly. I also have a few experiences leaving my body and having lucid dreams. So I'm actually really familiar with what you're talking about, James, about how you can realize that you're in a dream, make it lucid, and then from there be able to stretch it into an astral projection. It really raises
That's
the
right.
question on what exactly is happening when we're dreaming. But all I would say is that when it comes to the actual, like you said before, like you acknowledged, when it comes to actually providing definitive evidence for one side or the other, as far as the cosmology of the Earth, it really doesn't help us. It's purely anecdotal. I will say though, even though I am a flat earther, I do think it's funny because I have had an experience where I was in a lucid dream where I was looking down at the earth and I definitely seen it as a circle. But I take it to mean that that's just the shape of the realm, not necessarily the curvature ratio of the earth itself. But I
Right.
digress. Our
Right.
earth is bigger. Welcome back.
Right.
Hey, thank you for
I
letting me back
totally,
in, man.
totally, totally appreciate your awareness because that's something most people don't have. They either choose this or that, but to stand outside of both and just go about your life with your own truth, the truth will come to you eventually, but you don't have to speak it. You'll see it. And so
That's
who
very
knows
true.
what the truth is, but it's just your own experience.
That is
I've
100% true.
had, I myself have had about, I think, two out of body experiences. One of which was fairly recent. I refer to it as like my full wake up to truth. I guess to actually asking full questions, asking real questions, and I explained it as I was wearing sunglasses, just listening to some flat Earth shit, and then next thing I know, plop, dude, I'm way the hell up there. I could see that I was driving, but I wasn't like controlling it, and to me it was someone asking me to fucking do shit for them, and I was like, nah. And it was very weird because although I call that person Satan, I no longer am Christian, but I'm not like Luciferian or nothing. It's so weird what that was because once I like plopped back down, I was still driving, like I was driving a car, but it was like very out of sync. Like I had control, but like it was just different. It was since then I've looked into performing my, or I guess astral projecting myself, because I for a long time, without knowing it was lucid dreaming, I would not necessarily control my dream completely, but going into a dreaming state, I can kind of veer which way I want to go. And so I think, yeah, I'm gonna start trying to astrally project myself a little more often.
Nice. Rick Barr, welcome to the show. You're new. I don't think I've seen you in here before. I
Yeah,
appreciate your patience.
that's good.
Yeah, no, that's okay, guys. Thanks for having me on. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I have actual proof that the Earth is flat, if you guys want to hear it.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so last week, right, I started doing some research into pandas, and I realized that where they are based in the Earth wouldn't be able to be possible if the Earth was actually a globe. But I realized that this isn't going to go far as a movement. You know, as flat earthers, we have to put the best foot forward and try new initiatives. So recently, I started a rumor online that Shania Twain has fibromyalgia, and I feel like this is going to go places, and we're finally going to get the word out there that the Earth is flat. People will start connecting Shania Twain with fibromyalgia, flat earthers with real life proof, and finally, we're going to get the recognition that we deserve.
So, are you trolling, or is that supposed to
He's
connect somehow?
definitely trolling, bro.
Yeah, he's trolling, buddy. Come on, man.
I love it. I
I'm
love
not
it
Come
how
trolling
on.
at
all of
all.
us were kind of
Can
like
either
smiling
can
until he
any of you
started.
guys prove that Shania Twain doesn't have fibromyalgia?
Nice. We'll go
And
ahead and
there you
move
go.
along. We don't really have too much time for just pure trolling. You got to be better than that. Be a little, at least a little more
Very
convincing.
good. You made good. Listen.
Hi.
Yeah.
My first instinct was that he's a very good remote viewer, but
Beatrix Vega, welcome to the show. Thanks for being patient.
Hi. Yeah. So
I don't have the same opinions as you guys, but I still want to have a conversation and hopefully,
Welcome. Welcome.
Always with respect from both sides. I don't mean any disrespect to anyone and anyone's opinion. So, yeah. Nice to meet you.
Absolutely.
Nice to meet you.
So you're so you would consider yourself a globe believer then?
I guess more than belief, I really like to base myself on logic, I believe. And I do not, let's say I do not believe the earth is a globe just because someone else told me so. I mean, I do my own thinking and stuff. So, yeah.
So do you believe the government? Just a question. Do you believe the government
Yeah.
lies? Like, do you believe they're legit? Any government?
I mean, with respect
Just to
to
find
this,
some
I mean,
common ground.
I mean, I know they lie about a lot of things. So yeah, I guess that's the answer.
Okay.
Like,
That's
yeah.
You know,
that's
you know,
the
you
first
know,
step.
you know what's funny is that we are both neither flat earthers or globe believers, but we both can agree on the sphere.
Yeah, sure. That's
Well,
interesting.
just to let you guys know, I do have Globy McGlobeface in the box, and the last couple times he was in, we're only talking about theoretical stuff. So I kind of want to see if we can actually get a globe Earth proof. Beatrix, you just came in. James, you were one of the first people in. Um, would you mind switching places?
Whatever you like.
You got it. Feel free to come back in later on if you'd like. I just want to trade out one Glober for Glober.
Okay, perfect.
You got it, man. Hey, thanks for coming on. If you're following me, I'll follow you back, and let's have some conversations on some astroplaning. I think that'd be sick.
All right, you can call me too. I'm always available. I love talking.
You got it, homie. I appreciate you. You have a good one.
All right, I got a little experiment that I just did a video on, and I've got it set up and ready. It involves me little balls that I got.
Before you get started in it, Copenhagen, Globe McGlobeface, welcome back to the show. Appreciate you as always.
What's up, guys?
Fun stuff.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Copenhagen, fire away.
All right. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but all around the world, we've all been experiencing more than a half of a moon in the daytime. And I'm here to debunk it real quick. Got to turn my light off just a second.
It's a full moon right now. It's almost a full moon right now.
Correct, but I can't show it here, but it has been 80% full in the past week in the daytime. Not 80% full the entire time. Today was 80 to 90% full. Blue sky. Oh my gosh.
There's an echo. There's a crazy echo.
Yeah, you may have to.
We can all agree that a full moon, if this is the ball, that's the sun, this is the globe, nighttime is on this side. The only time we see a full moon, if you're standing on this ball, is right in here. So daytime blue sky would be anywhere from standing about here on the ball, but even then it'd still be a little bit purple / darker blue / it wouldn't be the indigo blue that we're used to. So how is a full moon possible anywhere in this area in which the picture was taken?
What? It's not a full moon. It's almost a full moon. So
That's what I'm saying.
That follows exactly what you just described.
That 80% moon is right there, brother.
That's 100%
That's
moon.
what no,
I don't know.
that
I
is
haven't
100%
seen.
moon.
I haven't seen any pictures, but here I'm from Puerto Rico actually, and so here at home I've seen a full moon I mean, almost a full moon basically, and it's always been night. And I remember because I do notice it a lot.
Tomorrow night, guys, tomorrow evening, whenever it's starting to get evening, where the sky is starting to turn orange in the clouds and the blue sky is turning darker, little bit before that, go and find the moon. You're going to see that it's mostly full. Go and look, click my name, and then click over there where you can click my actual name and go to my profile. Just posted 2 videos of it, both having the pictures of it zoomed out and zoomed in. And you'll see blue sky around a fairly full moon, past half, almost full, and a
So
blue sky.
What's the
Just out
problem?
of curiosity. Oh, sorry.
That it's impossible because here we go. Yet again, a full moon, once again, is only possible on this globe, is only possible right here in
But you
this
we can't
section.
see you.
but you keep saying almost full in your description, so you're admitting it's not a full moon that you're seeing.
Okay, but there is blue sky, which means we would have to be at least on this part of the ball. That at least. So that means that the full moon is here, but yet we're standing in time right here. And the moon, we can't see it anywhere over here.
No,
Is
move the
the sun
move the.
completely? Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Is the sun completely under the horizon?
What?
Or
no, it's not.
So the sun is still outside. You can still see the sun directly.
Yes.
So Copenhagen, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, because I am on the true Earth side as well. But there are a few places on that ball that I can see that being possible. But I wouldn't deny that that's actually an observation that we're having, because I mean, it's funny you brought it up, because I saw the moon, almost full in the daytime today, even like around, I'd say, like 5 o'clock or so. So I mean, I know what you're talking about, and there are certain places on the ball that it definitely seems like you shouldn't be able to see that. But the question would be, where at on that ball are you to make that observation? Because it still may be approved depending on where you are, but there are a few places on that ball that I've seen that it would still be possible to see a full moon, it looked like.
I assume I would have been this set of tweezers standing upright on this ball, about right there.
The moon could be still
And
visible to the other side.
Would be about right here in this area, maybe a little bit more getting towards the nighttime of the ball.
Now put your camera. No, okay. Now put your camera. Do that again. Put that ball, the moon back there.
I've got this in my video, Globy.
And put your camera where you think you should be, and you're going to see almost a full moon.
Nope, that's not a full moon.
Okay, move it to the left. Move it back to the left.
Yeah. Hang on. The picture would be taken within from here to here, not without the moon. The picture was taken from this to about this.
So you were looking. Which direction were you looking?
I was looking east. So
you were looking east. Were you looking low on the horizon? Was the moon low on the horizon?
That's not.
I bet you the moon was very low on the horizon, wasn't it?
Just tell us what time it is, because I actually think I know what you're trying to say, and I'm just trying to piece it together. So for me, darkness comes about 6 o'clock, 6:30. So if I'm seeing the moon about 5 o'clock, then yeah, I can assume that if I am on the ball, that I'm close to that dark line, relatively close to that dark line. It's not like I'm in the center of where the light is, because that would be noon.
That would be noon phases.
It would follow to me that the moon would have to be, I mean, maybe if you moved it back further for scale, I could maybe, but I actually am starting to see what you're saying on how the moon probably shouldn't appear full when it's when it's past that dark line.
Tribune, Globy, go look at my past 2 videos. I'm not going to post anything else for a couple days. My past 2 videos. Just go look at them. It is
So
impossible.
what part of the
But
country are you
you
in? If
can
you don't
look
want to
to
tell
the
me
I'm in
exactly where you
Denver,
are, what part of the country?
Picture, I'm in Denver, Colorado. The picture was taken on I-6 headed eastbound between Golden, Colorado and Denver, Colorado. I'd say about halfway down that highway between those points.
And what time of day? Was it
pull up the location.
sunset or sunrise?
It was sunset, and it was right after 4:15 whenever I got done with the appointment that I was in and headed home.
4:15 at night. All right.
No, 4, yeah. I'd say
I mean,
20
I
minutes
think
after 4:15, so 4:35.
I
Okay.
think
So let me show
we
you
could
something.
definitely check with like an app or something that
Yeah, I'm just going to
traces the
show.
path.
So I was 100% right in guessing that it was low on the horizon.
It was not low on the horizon.
And this is where it says the moon should be.
No,
This
just
is
go
today.
watch the video, brother. Just
This
go
is today. I don't know when you
video.
did this, but this is today at 4:30 p.m.
Wasn't
Okay,
low
this
on
is
the horizon. That's showing
this-
like 5
this is
degrees.
almost a this is almost a full moon, and it's light in the sky. There's light in the sky.
No, it didn't look like that, brother. It did not look like that.
Just
Close
to
What
kind
it look like?
a lot higher.
So let me throw in my 2 cents on this
Well,
because again,
it
I
could-
just had this observation today, and I actually will side with Copen on this one. That as far as what was actually observed, I don't doubt Globy that that's what the app says it should have been, but
Okay.
I actually saw that it was. I mean, I had to look well up into the sky. It wasn't like I was looking at the tree line. I was looking at least, man, sorry, I suck with angles, but it was definitely higher than 60
I'm not
degrees.
saying I'm not saying this is always where it is, but this is what I'm saying. This time of year, this is where it is.
So what we're saying is, how would we see the full moon? Can you like map that out? How we would see the full moon at higher than 60 degrees altitude at sunset, or I'd say around like 5 o'clock, like right before
He's saying
sunset.
it's possible to be standing about here and seeing and looking here and seeing this full moon.
Wait,
and I'm saying it is too blue because you are standing too far over here to be able to see that much of a moon.
Okay, so hold on. I sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I just pulled up his video, and the moon is exactly where the app says it is. Look how low it is on the horizon. This is your freaking video. This is your video on your page. You just told me to look at.
That is not where that just showed.
That's not the size.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Is it off slightly? Maybe, but this is low on the horizon.
Slightly, brother. Come on, quit lying. Slightly.
Oh my God! Look at the whole sky is here, right? So the moon's not up here, right? It's all the way over here. This is low in the sky. I don't care who's arguing this point.
Further in the video. Go a little bit further in the video. Go to the next picture.
Guys.
A couple of days after the eclipse.
Okay, so this fake horizon.
Fake horizon?
Yeah, the fake horizon on the app is a little closer. But if you look at the black line here, it matches. This is. You want to pull up Stellarium? I'll pull up Stellarium and I'll show you there as well. I mean, come on, guys.
Go a little bit later. Go a little bit later in the video. Come on.
All right. I'll just play it. Does the moon just like get larger in the sky?
No, I show a picture that I had taken a couple days after the eclipse that had just happened.
Okay, so we're waiting for the next scene.
You could skip forward. It's a 3-minute video. You can skip forward.
Is it part 2? Because this is part 1. I don't know.
No, part 2. Part 2.
Okay, do part 2 then.
I don't see part 2. I see Debunk Me, Bro. This one.
That one, yeah.
It's the same thing. Okay.
A little bit further.
Looks about the same there.
It's like the last 30 seconds. That one right there. That one was taken
The one that's just above the trees here? That one?
Hang on. Whoa. I can give you context. That is not just above the trees. That is me looking like this with my camera and looking up from close trees, looking up like that. Now I know it's. Hang on. Look and see if there's. I can't close my phone and look and see if there's any other buildings or anything in the picture. But
It's
look,
still low in the. It's still low in the sky, dude. Even if you're looking, even if you're close to the trees.
Low to the sky. Look at the
Okay.
inclination of those trees.
This
If
is
they
what
were
we're
standing
arguing
straight
about.
up,
All right.
Just to interject right here. Like if you being in Denver and the moon is on the other side of the earth, if it's a ball, like should you be even able to see it?
no,
Yes,
it's
because it's not on the other side of the ball.
but it's full. That was a
So
full
the
moon.
people on the other side of
No,
How
because
is it so
it doesn't
blue?
need to have. It doesn't need to be completely behind the earth. If it's at an angle, you're gonna see it. Just like if the sun rises, it's not always just 90 degrees, right above you.
Yeah, but isn't the moon like 238,000 miles away? And
Well, it doesn't.
circling like almost at the center of the equator, almost on top of the equator.
Actually,
So it has to be
no.
on the other
it-
side of the globe.
Actually, it changes. It's not always at the same distance. It varies.
Okay.
At least on the model.
Oh,
It's fine.
Lord.
But I did. Maybe this is changing a bit the topic a bit, but I did want to ask about if we consider flat Earth, how does plate tectonics and everything is explained, or earthquakes? Let's just say, and this also takes me to the fact that I don't only say, oh, the Earth is let's say round, which is, it's also not perfectly a sphere. It's very irregular.
Like that?
No,
Oblate
Okay,
sphere?
I just have
has anomalies in. Oh yeah, that is, and it's also a bit elliptical. But either way, that aside, I have ways to explain not only that it is round, but also why it is sort of round.
Why?
Or sort of spherical.
Are you talking
And
about
I
the
don't know
pizza that Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about over time gravity and a ball that's gonna like smooth out at the middle, and then the
I don't
bottom
know.
half is
I
gonna
haven't
get
heard it
bigger
from
than the
him,
top half.
but I haven't heard it from him. But yeah, basically that sounds like what I'm saying.
This?
Well, he did say that it's bigger below the equator. So on the South Pole
Yeah,
side.
sort of at the equator.
No, at South Pole.
This is that. I had Pro Photoshop Josh tell me that.
Well, I don't know what he said. Sorry. I don't know what he said, but I'm pretty sure it's at the equator, and it's because of the rotation of the Earth.
Yeah, like pizza
in
does.
this model specifically.
I'm gonna turn this light off now. Shining my face.
Someone's phone's. I was about to say someone's phone keeps going off.
But essentially, what I wanted to say is, I can't explain why the Earth is round and like why it is round, but I haven't heard any explanation as to why the Earth would be flat. What type of formation would lead to that?
Because even humans, whenever we started creating our own little world called video game, it started off with a flat level plane, so it just makes sense to start with a flat level plane and build from there.
Yeah, but it is not, that is not an explanation that takes into account every single, or that fits in every single other thing that we see. And
so Beatrix, the problem is, and I hate to cut you off, but I know what point you're making. I just want to kind of make it brief and clear. Basically, you're wanting us to replace the model with another model that takes into account every single anomaly and thing that we see, even though your current model hasn't even been proven out. We'll just be upfront in saying that we don't have all the answers. We don't know how every single thing in the universe works.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give me just one moment. I appreciate everybody in the chats at Rokfin and YouTube chatting it up with me, enjoying the debate. I'm going to give this just a moment to try to maybe catch up. It was downloaded. I noticed it chopping a little bit. So since it's downloaded, there's no reason why it should be doing that. It's nothing to do with the OBS. So let me just give that one moment and give it a chance to do a shameless plug. Folks, remember to go ahead and check out truthsmacks.com so you can not only support the community, but also partake in a delicious, nutritious, organic trail mix snack. Good for any occasion, especially your True Earth debates. So, with that being said, let me go ahead and get this going once again. Some funny things about the arguments. Some people who are familiar with this kind of thing, we hear this all the time. Everybody always wants us to replace the model. They want to know every single thing about the universe right now, and they don't even understand that most of what they are talking about is pure assumption anyway. So it's really, really funny. But we will go ahead and let this continue. Everybody, thanks again for joining, and welcome to True Earth Debate number 6.
Actually fair to say that we don't have a congruent model. That's actually a fair criticism that the Globers do have, is that we don't have a congruent working model. But we've only been working at this since 2000. What was the first flat Earth videos came out in 2014? I mean, the globe Earth has been worked on for 500 plus years. So it's going to take us a little bit of time to work some stuff out. But there are tons of people who are much smarter than us that say that there are a range of models and range of mathematics to explain the observations, and that we are choosing we're choosing our model based on philosophical grounds. So to simply say that because I know how the globe Earth works completely, because I have all these mathematics and things, but I don't know how the flat Earth would work, isn't necessarily a definitive proof one way or the other. I'm sure we can agree on that.
No, yeah, that's fair, completely fair. But I did wanna. So I've noticed in these types of debates, the people often use mathematics, and I feel like mathematics are useful in terms of you can understand the concept behind the results and everything, and you can do calculations and stuff. But our brains are not really made to understand the scale of these math.
I would like to say that anytime I go and look at math, astrology, time,
somebody's sound is awful. Just throwing that out there.
Anytime I go and look at that stuff over a flat Earth with flat Earth eyes versus open eyes, it makes so much more sense when it's designed flat Earth with a flat Earth versus the complete randomness that is globe Earth and heliocentric.
Copen, do me a favor and mute your mic for a moment. I'm gonna have or somebody else start speaking. I'm just trying to see whose mic that is. I think Globey, I think that's your mic, homie.
What am I doing?
I just hear a whole bunch of rustling around and stuff. It's really
It sounds like you're moving a box full of glass containers.
Sorry, I got a new mic. It's very sensitive. I'll put it down.
I was like, man, that is so bad. My viewers start
Yes,
tanking
bad.
now.
It's like
That's all good.
they're organizing a room or something like that. So yeah, so Neil deGrasse Tyson does say that it's bigger on the bottom. So actually, it kind of like aligns with our theory, which is bigger on the outer ring.
But are you sure he says on the? Because
Yeah,
Yes.
I just
I'm like 100%
pull it
sure
up?
it's on
I
the
have it.
equator. Sure.
He
I mean, I would
legitimately.
even say if he said that, he's probably wrong. I would even dare say
I
that
mean, well,
completely.
he's wrong on everything really, unless he's talking about where he says what's his face, the Red Bull jump guy, where he didn't see curve and that shit is flat, and he takes his arm and he goes like that, and then a couple seconds later he stops, and then he goes like that again, saying that it's flat, and then he goes and says that he's only 2 millimeters above this beach ball, and he snaps it like it was his ass or something.
Yeah,
uh,
he's saying you can't see the whole Earth from there. That's all he's saying. You guys
Neil
take him out of
deGrasse,
context.
Neil
I'm aware
deGrasse
what he's
agrees with
saying.
us that you shouldn't exaggerate the curvature with the fisheye lens.
That's right.
He's saying he is
Exaggerate.
he
Exaggerate.
is no
Keyword.
more than that far off of this globe. That's what he is saying, and from that
Yeah.
distance off the globe, you can't see it all. I'm aware what he's saying, but I mean, with that distance off the globe, I feel like you should still see curve.
You do. The problem is we show you curve and you go, well, Neil deGrasse Tyson says you can't see curve from there. So you guys this is what you guys do. I can show you curve from there.
The reason why we say you can't see curve is because you have a whole bunch of professional people who say, oh yeah, look at this video of curve. And then you have a whole bunch of amateur people who have no intentions other than just finding out themselves, who send up a video and it's flat as
it's not flat.
as high as the eye can see.
Concave.
It's flat.
Concave.
What? No,
It's
can I
concave.
see that video?
You
I
would
know
see
you wanted to show it.
see that on ground level
Can I
like
play
you
this
do
video
with
for a
the
second?
fisheye lens.
Yeah, let him show the video. We can get into the fisheye lens thing.
Also, I know that we're all getting really excited here, and I definitely appreciate everybody being excited with me. But if we could actually let each other talk, finish their points, and try not to talk over each other too much, that way we can keep everything running smooth. That'd be awesome.
Okay.
But not only that, it's slightly wider below the equator than above. Look, chubby. So, it turns out.
So what's the shape of a pear? The bottom side is bigger than the top side.
Like this.
I don't know. I haven't heard yet, but I'm 100% sure it's supposed to be on the equator.
Yeah. Okay.
Would you agree that there's would you agree that there's degrees of shapes of things?
Yes, just like I'm showing here.
Okay, so you think if the Earth is 0.1% fatter at the bottom, that when you really look at it, technically it's a pear, but you wouldn't be able to see a 0.01% increase in mass around it.
Why would he diagnose it as a pear?
Because he's being silly on TV. Okay, technically it's a pear. It's fatter. Yeah, it's fatter around the middle.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It's a little fatter. It's a little fatter in the southern hemisphere than it is in the northern hemisphere. A little bit, not noticeably as if you're in space, you're going to see a pear. That's ridiculous. Right? You can have a misshapen. You can have a misshapen basketball. Right? You pick up a basketball that's misshapen when you get close to it, but if you stand really far away from it, it looks like a perfect sphere.
Why are most of the southern continents way larger than the northern continents?
What does that mean? I don't understand. What does that have to do with anything?
Africa is way bigger than America.
Okay, it's a landmass.
Way bigger
What does
than
that have to do
America,
with what we're talking about?
and
Well,
Greenland is so small compared to what Africa is. Also, South
well,
America
if you
is huge compared to North
What does that
America.
have
take
to do
into
with anything?
account that
What does that have to do with anything,
that
Max?
the Americas used to be, like
Part
what's the
of
word? I'm sorry.
Pangea?
Sort of combined with Africa, and where Africa is where the majority of concentration of landmass was at some
So how
point.
come Africa hasn't moved?
It has actually,
Who
You know
mentioned
but
what?
that?
I really don't believe. I mean, is there
actually,
any
so
proof? Is there
can
any
I?
proof?
Oh,
Has
sorry.
California fallen off America yet? Because it's on its own tectonic plate. Where's the proof
I mean,
of tectonic plates?
this all
Yeah,
has
I
nothing to
can.
do with the shape of
Well,
the Earth,
can
in
I?
my opinion.
Can I please? Yeah, sorry. Can I please? So just sort of filling in that. Um. So, the plates move at about the rate that nails on your fingers grow, and that is very very slow. And there's a point that I wanted to make at uh, just a while ago. It's that we talk about a lot about math and like big numbers, and no human is really really good at visualizing those. Even though we can actually do math, we cannot visualize it. And I just feel like sometimes it's not as helpful, and sometimes it is a bit misleading in terms of how we visualize things. And so basically, I mean, if you consider the scale of things of this model, I mean, just think of if you were the size of an ant standing on a ping pong ball, maybe you would notice the curvature of that ball. But if you were the size of an ant standing on, like, I don't know, the biggest sort of spherical thing that you can imagine, and you were the size of an ant standing on that surface, you would not
So
notice the
Beatrix,
curvature.
you asked a question like a while ago. If I may just really quickly answer it, and then I guess
Sure.
Copenhagen can answer this one. You asked about earthquakes.
Yeah, I did.
So just to throw that out there, you know what fracking is, right?
Yeah, but you know,
Do you know what they do when they hit a point that they cannot go further?
yeah,
There was
What
earthquakes
do they
way
do?
before fracking existed, so I
yeah,
don't know what
exactly.
you're talking about there.
I understand that. I understand, but this just showing you that it could happen to like other places at a lower scale with fracking. This is a fact. This is not a lie. This is a
Sure.
fact.
I mean,
They do
you can
use like
register.
massive explosive, and it does cause like the earth
It's also
way down
kind of
there
a
to
it's
like
also kind of a
adjust.
meaningless statement, though. It's kind of a meaningless statement.
No, just saying. I'm just saying. Why is it
I mean,
meaningless
yeah,
if it does
you
cause
can
earthquakes?
register seismic activity, even like lower activity on the surface. But
Yeah, but
actually,
what?
the size and length of faults are directly, um, you know, correlated to the size of the earthquakes that can be produced, and it is explained in the globe, uh, version of things, as you have the crust that is fractured into pieces, and those fragments are moving in more or less the same direction. I think people imagine it just sort of like, you know, hitting each other all the like, or all chaotic or something, but it's really they're really moving more or less in the same direction for a long time. If you go to the satellite images, you can see. Oh, sorry. You can
Go ahead.
actually see cracks on the lower, on sort of the bottom of the Atlantic, that have the same shape the Americas and Africa. And that's because that's where it is spreading apart.
Okay, so I've been waiting to interject. My problem with everything that we were just talking about for the last 10 minutes is that in no way has it been presented how earthquakes, tectonic plates are indicative of us actually living on the globe. I mean, wouldn't it be possible for us to be like living on flat plates? I mean, when I think of a plate, I'm not thinking of a spherical surface. Plate to me, is a relatively flat surface. But I digress. If you have an explanation for that, then that would be fantastic. And then I'd like to move into what you brought up with the actual curvature about the ant not being able to perceive. We can move into that next, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So first of all, I don't think most people think about this ever. Doesn't matter what they believe in. Just people don't actually know any, like, don't think about this. But the reason why plates move is because of these currents that are on the mantle. So if you're familiar with convection, I don't know if you are, but basically you need to have heat inside the earth and a sort of ductile material, and that is magma, molten rock. If you think of a lava lamp, yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. If you think of a lava lamp, you have a heat source that is a light, let's say, and of course it is a very smaller scale. And you have, when you heat up the wax inside, it becomes less dense and it floats more easily over the more dense materials, and so it goes up. It cools down as it gets farther away from the heat source. In the case of the Earth, that would be the core, and then when it's denser, it comes back down, and the cycle keeps on going. At larger scale on the Earth, that forms currents, and so I don't see. I can't imagine an explanation for that, because you have the same materials recycling all over again, especially the oceanic crust, which is denser than continental crust.
So what if it's flat and there's lava under it?
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, sure. So where does that come from? And why is it not lost anywhere? And how does that fit in the whole
So
thing?
I got a question. I got a question for you. Like, who has ever dug and reached lava?
So that's an very interesting question. I'm glad you asked that, actually. So, we have machines that enhance our. I mean, if you use binoculars, right? Just some sort of technology that enhances your view. You're not actually seeing with your own eyes. You're seeing that through a lens, for example. In this case, we use seismology. We know how certain waves behave through certain materials, and you can do this in the surface, and you can test it like in several ways. But essentially, we use seismic waves that can be produced
So
either
if
by
I can get a
earthquakes
yes
or
or no, like if I can get a yes or no, does this seismic wave detector detect lava?
Yeah, it detects the state of the material. It detects whether it's solid or liquid, or whether it's more viscous or more sort of flowing.
How does it do that through miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of hard surface rock and dirt?
Because actually, the more solid materials help the wave travel faster. If you think of
that sounds pseudoscience to me.
But if you think, there has been explosions, for example, and you sometimes feel the vibration before the sound, and that is because the waves travel faster through the ground, which is solid, than through the air, which is gas.
Sonar, radar,
I feel like
that stuff's not pseudoscience. I don't know why you would say that.
I feel like that's more along the lines because the ground is a whole substance and the air is not.
The air is a substance because it
not a
has
complete
molecules
one.
that you're breathing.
But it's not a
So how do
complete.
you
I mean,
know?
it's really easy to understand. I mean, I have to agree with her on this point. I mean, if you just know about the way shocks and stuff work, I mean, it makes perfect sense. If you have a solid object, you can think of the crystalline way that it's structured. It's going to move all at once. You're going to feel it faster than something that's going to have cushion and give, like a fluid substance or even air for that matter. So,
yeah,
I mean, it's not too much of a stretch to assume that we can do that. Now, I'm actually trying to pull something else up on Google because I have heard it claimed that we have been wrong using seismic technology to detect different substances while we were digging, but I haven't fact checked it myself, so I wasn't going to throw it out there without fact checking it.
Yeah. So there are also other ways. I know gravity is a topic of a bit maybe controversial here, but you can make gravitational studies and see notice density anomalies. So basically, if you have denser material concentrated in one place, you're gonna have stronger gravitational pull, and that's how we know it is also not perfect. Like the material is not perfectly distributed on Earth.
Agreed.
And finally, I mean,
how do they
plate
know?
tectonics.
How do they know? How do they know when the wave travels through water, or it travels to like magma?
So if you think
like how does how just 1 second. Let me understand this correctly. Like how can you even understand? How does it even make sense that a shock wave is coming from magma?
Yeah. So here's
or the earthquake itself is generating from magma, so that the shock wave can pass through. So the earth moves, right? The earth moves and it creates like shock, like a shock, and earthquake happens, right?
Yeah.
And the shock goes out. It doesn't go down the magma and then back up again. Like it goes to the sides.
Yeah, actually, so when you have a shock, it goes, the wave propels in every single direction, as long as it has a material that it can propel through, right? And then there are different types of waves. Some propagate.
I know, P waves, S waves.
Yeah, exactly. So if you think of an S wave, that is a wave that the movement is perpendicular to the way it's propagating, right? It's a bit hard to explain. I'm sorry if I'm confusing, but
it's not confusing. Please speak.
Yeah, if you're underwater and you start moving your hands side to side, you're not gonna make that wave sort of go like a snake, right? It's only gonna propel one way. You can actually make it move side to side, sort of like a snake if it's a solid. But that type of wave does not move through liquids. And so you don't have to have a completely liquid material to notice this. If it's more fluid, if it's closer to being a liquid, let's say, then that type of wave is gonna be a lot slower than the other one. And you can actually measure the difference in velocity of the two.
So I'm gonna have to ask you again. So let's say this is the thickness of the Earth. It's out of scale. Of course it is. I'm just showing this right here. So let's say this is about, I don't know what, 500 miles down or something, and there's a shock right here. And lava is how deep is lava?
So actually, the crust is the thinnest part of the earth,
How
and
deep is
that's not
how
the
deep
place.
is the lava?
I don't remember. Let's see.
About it doesn't have to be precise.
Yeah, I mean, the mantle goes down to like 6,000
Okay,
something
6,000
kilometers.
miles.
I don't remember. I'm sorry.
Kilometers. Okay,
1,800 miles.
1,800 miles. Great. So let's say this is 1,800 miles and this is lava below right here. So if an earthquake happens around here and there's a tiny little speck of dust seismic wave detector right here and another one detecting right here, how is this shock wave gonna go to the magma down or to the magma and go up? Like it's the shock waves going like this. It's going like this. Like if the earthquake happened here, it's going like this. It's not like bouncing around on the earth and then going back up. Like it doesn't go to lava and then come back up. How does that even make sense?
It does come back up. I don't want to tell you exactly because I'm not sure if it comes right back to
if
the
you're
place.
saying that it does, if it does come back up, that means it's not going through the magma. It's just bouncing
No, that's
back.
the thing. It comes back at an angle when it hits the core, which is solid. And the earthquakes only happen on the
The
crust.
core is solid?
Oh yeah, because of the pressure.
The core that's an old theory. That doesn't exist anymore.
No. You have the outer core, which is liquid. It's metal and it's liquid, and that's what generates the magnetic poles. And then the inner core is solid.
But that doesn't exist anymore because gravity, magnetic core, quote unquote, is basically the mass of the Earth. That was an old theory which they thrown out the book because magnetism cannot be in lava in heat. It doesn't work. It decays over time.
I was about to say that.
The magma, right?
And we're not we're
magma.
organic. We're organic. Like we're not attracted to magnets.
Oh no,
Right.
no. It's not because of magnetism.
I'm sorry.
Magnetism. Yeah, sorry.
I'm gonna reel it back in for a moment because honestly, I'm kind of still stuck on how this even definitively proves it. I'm not sure that anybody from either side would be, super accepting of just the proof of that. We shoot seismic waves down and they come back at an angle. I mean, there could be any number of things that cause that. I would say if you can show me it coming back at something predictable and not just coming back from one machine or a couple machines from specific agencies, maybe with more open source equipment and stuff like that, then we can start, maybe talking about it. But until then, it's kind of useless to, entertain it because again, the Earth can be flat with different densities and magma and different things beneath the surface that we're finding. The real thing gets back to the actual, first and foremost, probably the curvature. And now you did mention something way earlier when you were talking about how humans wouldn't be able to perceive the curvature because it's like an ant trying to perceive a basketball. And we've all heard the analogy.
Even larger than that. Way larger.
Doesn't. Well, I would just say it doesn't matter. And the reason why I say it doesn't matter is because your argument is that your argument is that of one that explains away the observation. It's not one that explains that this is happening. You're explaining why we don't see something. You're just furthering the burden. We're asking for the actual proof of the predictable curvature, 8 inches per square mile, which, give me 1 second here. I'll bring up something that I often bring up in these lives.
I know what you're about to do, and I like it. I think I know.
1 second. Let me find it here. Just take me a moment. So this is I wish I could call it mine, but it's not. I stole it from Flat Earth Debates over on YouTube. This is what has been dubbed the geometric horizon, or the Earth curvature killer. And the reason why is because if the Earth is curved, then it must have a curvature.
Oh, no.
Whoa, Houdini, motherfucker!
Whoa,
Houdini!
I knew he was CGI. I knew he was CGI.
Oh, augmented reality, Gobi. Augmented reality.
You guys were right this whole time. Augmented reality. Well,
Have you guys? So,
well, this is about to end, by the way. Oh wait, there he is.
Oh, he's back.
No, we're here. My phone is still 60%, so we got quite a bit of debate to go.
All right.
For those of you who don't know, we pretty much duke this out until the phone dies. So, but yeah. So here behind me, we have the Earth curvature killer, and this right here is a 1 foot observer height, able to see 2 oil platforms that are, one is 6 miles away, one is almost 10 miles away, and if you squint, you can actually see the horizon line, the water line, actually behind the oil rigs. Now, the mainstream explanation for why this is possible is that there is light bending, refraction, if you will, superlooming, allowing you to see things that otherwise would be hidden by the curvature of the Earth. However, the temperature and air densities just happen to be just right to be able to see this observation. And they'll back it up with another observation of a little bit less distortion, and there being a little bit more blocked on the oil rigs. However, the fact remains is that if it is true that the horizon is something that is essentially variable, it varies based on the weather conditions, based on the light refraction, if you will. So the horizon is not something to be proven to actually have that hard geometric edge. So far, it has been proven to be an optical phenomena. So,
Can I show? Before we get into like a discussion, can I show like a video showing this? Exactly what you're talking about?
Go ahead.
Like how the atmospheric refraction works with like temperature of when this before the sunrise, and when the atmosphere gets heated up, and you can literally see that this is a Bayview area, and you can see right here all the way to the bottom of this shoreline. Of course, this image is not going to be good because I'm a small tiny picture on this
Hey,
live right here.
how do I switch it to grid mode? Can someone help me out with that? I've been trying to figure that out, and I can't ever figure it out. But if I switch it to grid, we'll be able to see you better.
I have no idea.
I don't know anymore. It used to be on the cameras. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it looks like on your end anymore. It's not the same.
Yeah, they change this thing every week, I swear.
They do. One of those buttons has a might be multi-guest for you. You click multi-guest. You see at the top it says layout.
At the very top.
Once you hit multi-guest, think at the top it says layout.
Guest here. I don't see. I see you guys. I don't see what is multi-guest? Is that the circle? The other one? The hosts button?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's not it. Oh, what the frick? Go live settings. Oh, there we go. Boom, now we're in the money. All right. Sick. Arth is bigger. You are muted, my friend.
God does listen to prayers. Just kidding.
So this is from skunkbayweather.com. This is a Bayview area. And if you can see right now, there I don't know if you can see it, like the video is, it's not like up to resolution, but there is a atmospheric, look at this. Look at this happening right here. So if I go back forward where it's more where it's 54 Fahrenheit.
What is this a time? How long is this a time lapse of?
7:40 a.m. It's let me see.
Like, what's the total timeline?
Till like 4 p.m. So you can see it like turning like daytime.
7 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are we sure that's not just the tides coming in and out?
No. I have a lot more videos than this, bro.
It's like it's like 10 hours of time, dude. That's just the tide coming in. I mean, yes, there's probably some like distortion.
This lake is flat, bro. Look at this. Look at all this here. This is flat.
How do you know? What do you mean it's flat? How do you see it's flat?
It's pretty flat, dude. It's not like flat like a piece of paper. It's pretty flat. It's more flatter than.
So that's refraction lifting the lake up, and you don't know and you're saying it's definitely not tides.
Look at this.
We can say it's definitely not curvature, right?
Well, either way, no, it's not curvature.
That's our point.
No, I think your point is refraction changes the horizon, and he's showing tides moving up and down. So that's a completely different.
No, it's not the tides moving up, dude. Let me play it again. It's the temperature and 1 second.
Hey, Globy, you're quick at that shit, bro.
Yeah, doesn't even want to see it. So if you see,
because I know what I'm looking at, dude.
7 o'clock. If you see how the shoreline is perfectly flat.
Okay.
Right?
Here, what part of the country or world is that? Where are we looking at again?
It says Skunk Bay weather. I'm not sure, bro. I'm not sure.
9/27/2012. Go look up at what time the tides fucking came in that day, or is it a fucking lake?
This is a very late. This is a very old video. It's from 2012. So you can see that the whole shoreline is perfect. So if I'm moving, like if it's becoming daytime, so it's like 9, it's gonna get hotter and hotter. And if I just scoot it forward, I'm gonna scoot it forward. Look at this.
But it's 2 hours. It's 2 hours later now, right? 3 hours, 4 hours later. Now.
11. So if it's at 12, it's like noon.
Okay, so the water level rose there.
No, dude, it's not the water that's rising.
So it's what you want it to be. Like you
No,
can't just say it's not
look,
tides.
look, bro, look.
But you
There's a
can't
Yeah,
just
you can
defend
see
your
the
theory
buildings
that
changing.
this is.
The
You
buildings
can't
are
completely say that
squashing
it
in,
is
bro.
tides.
Look at this. The buildings are squashing in. Look at that. Is this the waves or the buildings or the waves also? Look at that.
It's like when you're looking at heat waves.
Yeah, I'm not saying
Exactly.
there's no like
On
heat
a
waves
screen,
going on. I'm not saying there's no distortion from like the heat waves coming off the lake or whatever, but that clearly the water's rising up.
So this is our evidence that the horizon is an optical phenomena and that curvature plays no factor. Where would be your guys' evidence that curvature definitely does play a factor consistently?
I'm
Well,
sorry.
it's
Before
that's
getting
not
into
even
the
the
question,
horizon. That's a lake. It's
yeah,
not even going
but
far enough to see the horizon.
But this
just
picture right here, we are saying that the horizon is
Look at it.
right there in the middle of my finger, and not something that is caused from the curvature of the Earth.
This is
It is something that is caused from the observer's eyeball and the observer's height.
but
But you're
this
so
is
you're
the thing.
this is atmospheric refraction.
Yeah, Matt,
Point I
you're
wanted to make.
showing pictures that have obvious
Pictures, no
distortion
videos.
or videos. That's a mirror line caused by refraction. We know that.
Exactly.
We can also find examples where there's no mirror line.
Okay, but
So
look,
No,
and this is
there's
what we were
not
saying.
no
why are you
example
choosing
of the
ones with?
curvature.
You want me to show you? You want me to? There's
So
when you're
my
not.
This right here is the curvature debunker. Because we are
Yeah,
saying this is not
It's not.
atmospheric refraction. There is no mirroring. There is nothing of the distortion that we are saying is in this one. We are saying
It's a
this is proof of what refraction actually looks like, and this is the proof that this isn't actual refraction. This is 10 miles of flat Earth over an ocean.
All you're
With the
doing is
other
proving
distortion
refraction
in the far
exists.
one.
That's
But
all you're doing is
I'm not
proving
gonna say
refraction
this
exists.
one atmospheric. And where does the refraction stop? How come in every other video like that one, the atmospheric refraction in the video is this far? So where does that start in this picture? Is it this far? And how come it's the entire oil rig over there and not any of this one?
Because that one's 6 miles closer, or whatever it is.
It's
3,
atmospheric
4 miles
refraction
closer.
there's a
from this point all the way to that 10-mile
well,
mark.
I
So there
think
should
there's
be
a better
some sort
point.
of refraction.
I not to be rude, but I do think there's a better point to be made here, and that's when we're looking at our Earth is bigger's example, where we're seeing the objects change in the distance and the water level rising and falling. Globy was quick to say that, well, that can be just the tides. Now, let's imagine this. If we were to take a still shot of one of those images where the water level was higher, blocking some things, anytime the bottom of anything is blocked over distance, globies like to say that it's the curvature that is doing it. Where is that same bias applied when we're looking at all these other observations?
Well, most of those things are boats, right? To be fair, I get your point. That would be like a stationary object, like an oil rig, right? But a boat would be floating on that water. So whether the water's rising or lowering, it shouldn't change how much of the boat is hidden by the curvature.
So I got a challenge. I got a challenge for you, Globy.
Well, before we move on, we talk about this all the time, and I hate reiterating this point over and over again. This is your picture you're showing here, and look at these oil rigs, and look at the cranes here. All you're doing is proving refraction in this picture exists. Look at these. Look, they look like funhouse mirrors, right? This is what we always.
Okay, but hang on. Why is that
I feel like
distortion all the way through the entire photo and not
it
just on
is.
those solo spots?
It is. It is. This
No,
one's
it's not.
distorted
Why?
too.
How come the entire
Oh, the
oil
first
rig
one
isn't
is not
doing that?
distorted.
Yeah, yeah.
How
There,
come the
look.
entire oil rig isn't doing that?
And this is the normal picture
No.
without distortion.
Why
Yeah,
are
you
you
can
not showing
laugh,
the
but
first
look at the
oil
cranes.
rig?
There's no
Now
distortion in these
look at the
cranes.
first oil rig on the picture above.
Yeah, look how
But
clear it is. Look how
why
clear it
couldn't
is.
we say that there's just a higher tide in that other picture? Why do we assume that it's the curvature blocking the bottom?
Well, in this one you could say it's a higher tide, I guess, because it's a fixed object. However, you can see there's no distortion in the picture.
There is distortion.
Okay, hang on. This is what I'm saying.
Like the one you guys show to prove the globe doesn't exist. This one, it looks like a funhouse mirror. This is your proof the globe doesn't exist.
Look at where you're pointing. Look at where you're pointing.
I'm sorry.
You're pointing to a solo small little toothpick on the fucking.
No, I'm not. Look at this one. Look at this crane.
That one, and then you're pointing to the one down there.
Bro, this is supposed to be.
Are you saying that
the
the first?
Go to the one to the right.
It's futile.
Are you saying that?
Go to the small crane. Go to the small crane. Where's the distortion in that one?
Right there.
Go to the other one and show the distortion in the other one.
Okay, hold on. You don't see that curve there and that small crane?
Now go down. Now show the rest of the oil rig.
You don't see the curve there in that crane?
That's only in the
first
top part.
You don't see the curve there in that crane?
On the first oil rig.
Cabin that's right there.
Are you being biased?
That cabin that's over
Guys.
there.
Hey, come on now.
You guys are getting very defensive all of a sudden. Can you guys not admit this is a distorted picture? Can you just admit this is distortion going on here?
Where's the distortion on the first one?
Can you not admit that this picture has distortion?
It is distorted, bro. But can you show the distortion on the other one?
Sure.
That's not.
It's less.
It's not distorted.
It's less.
It's a mute. It's kind of
It's
a mute
way
point.
less.
It can't.
Showing that there is
It's not a moot point.
No, it
It's
can
not a
be
moot
refracted.
Look at the clarity of this picture compared to this picture.
What is the point you're trying to prove?
My point is you're using this to debunk the globe, but this is just proving refraction exists. That's all this is doing.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's what
no one's arguing
your
refraction
curvature
doesn't exist.
That's what
So
your
we're moving
curvature supposedly is.
So we're moving it to the next step. Then, if we agree that refraction exists, we don't have to debate on that. That's like you're saying, Globy. That's kind of mute. You don't see the point in arguing on if the oil rigs have distortion or not, because they obviously do to me, just being honest, but that doesn't matter. To me, it's simply, again, the proof that refraction does exist, and I'm still waiting for the proof of the actual physical, hard, predictable 8 inches per square mile geometric horizon.
So what I wanted to say, just to clear things up, the example I gave about the ant, not on a basketball board, just like I don't know what could possibly be the largest, I don't know, spherical sculpture you can imagine, or that exists. But if you place an ant there, I mean, if the Earth was big enough, even if you were in the surface, you wouldn't notice the curvature, and that's the point I want to.
So you're explaining away the observation again. How does that prove the observation that the Earth is a ball?
Yeah. So this is the thing. The thing that proves it's the fact that no one has ever said anything that can actually debunk the globe Earth. And so
That's
if you
just a
have multiple,
reification.
Have
if
you
you have
ever
Give us a
multiple
seen?
types of
specific point.
data, yeah.
The point is, as you go, it's not explaining away the observation, it's explaining the observation you see at sea level. Then as you go up in altitude, you as expected start to see curvature, and it also
Yeah.
falls away from your eye measurably. So those two things put together, those three things, equal a curved surface that's falling away from you as you go up.
I disagree. Because
All right.
they're once
There's no way
again.
you can
So this is
prove
perfect.
it's flat
Look at
from
this
the
example.
surface
This is exactly what Beatrix was trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay. This looks flat. And as you zoom all the way out, trying to get the whole frame in here. It's all based on your field of view. If a narrow field of view will make that look flat.
Oh,
that is a ball.
That is a ball, yeah.
Yeah, that is a ball. That is a structure.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Okay, that looks completely flat when you're zoomed all the way in on it because of your field of view. This is what's happening on Earth. So as you go up, you have to go up to see the curve. It's as simple as that. And when you do, you see this. Okay, this is the second half of the video. Hold on,
very
this is
quickly.
An example on the
Globy,
celestial
would
stream.
you mind helping me out and explaining just briefly to the people in the comments that 8 inches per square mile actually is in fact the correct formula?
It's close enough that we can talk and use it, and it's fine.
Thank you.
It is a parabola, but it's close enough for our discussions.
So Beatrix, just one hint. Like you said that there's nobody that ever said anything about debunking the globe. Like no scientists, nothing. Right? That's what you said.
No. Well, no. I just mean
Nobody
that
has said contrary to the globe. Like everybody
that's not
thinks,
what I
all
mean.
the major scientists believe that the Earth is a globe, right?
No, that's not what I mean. Actually, I don't know whether or not what other humans have said. But what I meant was, if you look at every piece of data and you let it guide you to the most logical answer, and you combine where all of those coincide, you get that the Earth.
So have you ever
and you don't get the other.
have you ever seen the documentary called The Principle?
Where'd she go?
She got out of there.
Should probably
I
just
promise I didn't boot her, so I don't.
Okay,
I actually, just so y'all know, I never make it a habit to boot somebody unless they're just obviously trolling or cussing up a storm or something.
For anyone that wants to get like a little bit like scientific data on scientists that has actually studied astronomy, look at The Principle. The Principle is a documentary from like 4 to 5 major like astronomers saying that the Earth is the center of the universe, like literally piecing the data together and forming a conclusion on the Earth being the center of the universe.
What was
and
that?
that's a different topic, though. That's geocentrism. That is not flat Earth.
Hang on, that is the same topic because flat earthers are geocentrists.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's referencing physicists who say that there is a possibility we could be at the center of the universe, but all of them also believe in a globe. So it's not the same thing.
What?
Yeah, they're not saying the Earth is flat in the center of the universe. They're saying the Earth could be at the center of the universe.
The geocentric model.
That's a geocentric model.
Yeah, but
Gods
how
and
how
demons.
how do they even get the notion to like differentiate from one or the other if they know everything already?
What?
No one knows everything already.
But wait,
Gods
wait.
and demons.
So you said at the beginning of your life of when you started talking,
Yeah.
you said that there's telescopes. I'm not sure. No, I don't think you said it. I'm
No,
sorry. I'm
that
sorry. There
wasn't
was
me.
another
I'm
life.
sorry.
That that was another life of today that I was in. But someone, I just want to bring in this point. So someone said that, oh, we have telescopes. We can see the Andromeda galaxy. We can see the black holes. We can see this. We can see that. So there was like four meteors that fell in the U.S. like a couple of like 5 months ago, if I'm not mistaken, and NASA didn't detect any of them. Any
And
They're
of
a
them.
lot smaller though.
they don't.
Yeah,
They
I
don't. They
understand
only
that.
detect a small fraction of what's coming
I
in.
understand
What's
that.
it?
Yeah, but they were pretty big. Like they made it. If you
But
look
they're
it up,
not as big as Andromeda.
Okay, so where'd they come from, Max?
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's a really
Do
good
you know?
question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
space.
probably from the cloud
Yeah, space. Yeah,
or
that's an easy
some
answer.
other
I can say
degree.
space too. It was
Oh, so where'd they
space.
come from? Are they made up? Are they
Oh, I
falling out of
didn't
the
say space.
firmament? Are
I
they
said the
pieces of the
cloud.
firmament?
I don't know, bro.
Yes.
I'm not gonna assume anything. Nothing I know. Like you've
Okay.
you've never been
But
there, so you
but
don't
here's
know.
a
I've
You're taking
seen
math.
meteor.
but
I've
here's a
seen
curious
meteorites.
thing.
I've seen a
Tektites.
meteorite falling. So
Tektites and living in desert glass.
Say it again.
Here's a
what's that?
curious thing. They're made of the same elements as that we find on Earth, and
Yeah, but
so
you've never
if
touched
you
one.
have,
You never analyzed it yourself
yeah, you have.
ever.
Well, I have actually. Yeah, actually, I'm a geology student. I'm sorry I didn't say that at the beginning.
That's fine. Yeah.
And that's exactly your
And
problem, flat earthers, because you discount everything.
We don't
Everything is a
discount
lie.
as being
everything.
fake.
We discount
As being
everything
fake. Everything is a lie and a fake unless you touch
Yeah,
it.
it
Unless it's
is,
the
but
stuff.
like most
Unless
of
it's the
it.
stuff that you're referencing.
The globe
Everything you
doesn't
want to
match our
believe, you haven't
observation.
touched. You
Do you
haven't
want
touched
me to name the
anything
list? Do you want me to name the list, Gobi,
of what?
of things being fake? Like I can go on for a pretty long while, and you know
Yeah,
what I'm talking about.
that's called the
So
nuh-uh
what's
list.
the
I know
point?
what that is.
That's
Well,
called a
how
what?
is that the nuh-uh list?
That's a
Well,
not list, right?
define the nuh-uh
It's the
list
list. It's
because
the list of all the things that are
we could
lies.
say,
It's the
oh,
list of all the things that are lies.
Okay, yeah, that's how you're gonna play it. Cool.
that's
You
not
know exactly what I'm
That is
talking
not
about, man.
nuh-uh.
What are you
That's a
Nuh-uh.
talking
no
about?
from your side. You
I
know
don't know.
that.
Well,
So
Saying
what are you
saying
talking
okay,
about
something
then?
is a
this
I
is
lie.
honestly don't
getting
know what you're
a
talking
bit
about.
heated,
What list?
but that aside, I wanted to ask if, let's just say, even if not all of us have, I don't know, touched a meteor in the past, let's just say if you were able to get your hands on a meteor and you knew for a fact, I mean, let's say you saw it coming in and you know that came from outside, what would explain it being literally a rock and have being made of the same things that we find on Earth? Wouldn't that mean that you have similar objects outside of Earth?
Well, first we'd actually want the proof that the rock actually came from space.
No, yeah. I mean, in the hypothetical scenario, if you literally saw the meteorite coming from space, let's say, or from outside, not from Earth, and you could analyze it and see,
At
oh,
best,
it's made of things.
Beatrix, we would assume that it came from far away. You could assume that somebody launched it. You know, you're just seeing it come from the sky. Your side is assuming that because we see light streaks in the sky, and then we also see rocks that are actually made of everything that are made up here on Earth. As you've said, that somehow indicates that they're from somewhere outside of Earth. And honestly, I just don't see the logical consistency in it.
The logical consistency is that one side has to assume that someone's launching rocks into the air or dropping rocks from high altitude.
Unknown explanation.
I mean, that's okay.
So one side has made up an explanation, and one side is being honest and saying they don't know.
Yeah, they don't know, but the logical conclusion leads you to a logical answer.
What makes it logical? What makes it logical? Someone telling you since birth that something is this way?
No, because people can track these things in space. Amateur astronomers track them.
Okay.
Yeah, they can.
You're using apps and different softwares that have been produced over years and years and years and years and years.
I'm not
that have been
talking
out
about
a lot
software.
longer than what we've been using them. All to say, hey, yeah, look at the sky.
Well,
look at where it comes from.
I'm just saying everything on the Earth, everything in these rocks is made from everything that we find here on the Earth. So why are we assuming that it's coming from someplace not the Earth?
It's not, but you won't believe it anyway.
This is the other example I wanted to get to. You can have other materials from outer space that do not have the same composition, and so how would you explain that if it has a composition that is not found on the Earth?
They found one the other day. They found two new minerals in a meteorite, but I didn't touch it, so I can't claim it's real.
That's great timing. That's great timing.
Yeah, they really want to.
Well, I guess it was harder before we understood how minerals are formed and everything. It was harder to identify that thing.
Have you seen the holes, the giant holes that the meteor supposedly left like a long time ago, where there's no meteors in the holes?
Why would they be? They don't.
Does not preserve meteorite impacts very well, and it's because of all the erosion from the atmosphere and the water and everything.
Okay,
and
so one second, Beatrix. So there's a giant hole that is empty and has no meteorite in it. What are you talking about? There's a couple of them.
The impact actually, you get sometimes
disintegrated the whole meteor.
Well, no, bro. You see, they take them as soon as they impact and go and take them to their secret top facilities, top secret facilities, so nobody can touch them except for the people permitted to go and touch them.
So the only thing that you see in those holes are sand. You don't see any rocks at all.
How come there's no like cooked glass or cooked earth or anything from the super intense heat that there is there? Because a lot of the craters that I've seen and looked and researched them, there is no glass or anything or melted and
Beatrix,
yeah, there is melting.
Just Beatrix. So if it's a 2-mile radius hole and there's nothing in it,
smaller,
you say that it's disintegrated?
So this is the thing. I'm not being able to explain my point of view right now, but here's the thing.
Why?
First of all, the crater is gonna be a lot bigger than the actual meteorite, and second, you get melting. If it's strong enough, you get melting of the materials, you get recrystallization, you get other minerals like right here
And it
forming.
vaporizes.
If it's big enough, it's gonna leave a meteorite behind. I mean, pieces of the initial.
So these are huge,
object.
ginormous holes. These are ginormous.
Max, you know they're. Do you know the asteroids aren't actually impacting those craters? They're not actually impacting the Earth to create those craters. Do you think, is that what you guys think right now? There's
a giant hole. There's
Yeah.
a giant hole, and they're
Those
not impacting the Earth.
Those are created by the explosion of the meteorite.
So yeah, with the rock exploding, like it evaporates and nothing's
Yes, the pressure builds up in the rock as it's entering the atmosphere, and it explodes.
All right.
It's actually the transition
That's a great
of
answer.
energy that creates the
All right, hang on. So how come it doesn't look like a World War II mortar field compared to just one ginormous hole in the ground?
Because most of them explode. Most of them explode and or break up before they reach the ground.
Okay, you said most. How come there's like the one in Australia that's like this fucking big, where a house is like that big next to it, and there's no other impact craters right around, just that big ginormous one?
Because there was one meteorite. What do you mean?
Okay.
Why would there be multiple?
Okay, but you just said because they break up.
No. Explode.
Okay,
like what Max is showing right now. Look at Max's screen.
Mostly explode. So how big was that motherfucker coming in?
Big enough to not break up.
You can actually calculate it, but I don't know the answer
crater.
from
So like the Chicxulub crater, the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. Okay.
No,
well, Beatrix, thank you for admitting that you don't know the answer to that. Thank you.
That was a lot bigger.
You said it mostly exploded. So where did the rest of the fragmentation? Because I mean, something doesn't explode and it just turns into nothing. Matter doesn't just get erased with an explosion. I mean, I don't know of any actual science that does that. So where does those impact craters go? Because you and me can both agree in an explosion, it is very random, and not one piece is going to be the exact same. So how come it's a ginormous one, but then no other small half quarters to that size around it?
How do you know what that is, Max? Have you been there and touched it?
Right here, Globy, there's a rock has supposedly been penetrated by the meteor.
No.
But here,
no, it has not.
This is sand. So how did this rock break off? If it's, I don't know, I guess it went forever over here, and it
explosion.
It only landed.
Wait,
in the middle.
Yeah, but answer why there's no rock particles in here.
Everything
does
goes
it explode?
outside. If you look at geologic maps,
what goes outside?
You see
there's nothing outside. There's nothing.
How come there is nothing?
All of that that you're circling with your finger, that is the material that is expelled from the center.
How?
Excavated from the center.
We're not saying excavated. We're not saying that. Where are the other impact craters? Where are the
you're not gonna get all the impact craters just because you have one.
Hang on. My boy Globy here just said they explode before they hit the ground. An explosion is very random. So if you have one ginormous impact crater like that, where are the smaller pieces that are impacting next to it or around it? How high up was it before it exploded?
They explode with like a nuclear force, dude. They're not like.
That doesn't mean it just disintegrates.
Yes, it does. It's rock.
No, it
yes, it does.
It's a lie.
Okay, if one piece is left like that, then there has to be more pieces that are either bigger or smaller than that one piece. It doesn't choose.
So
It's not
Copenhagen.
explosion isn't gravity. It doesn't just get to choose what it affects.
If it blows up and disintegrates, what is left to impact?
That this giant rock that's coming to hit the floor, right before it hit the floor, it explodes, but everything evaporates.
Turns into sand.
Nothing evaporates. Yes, it does turn into sand. It's called a
it evaporates if there's nothing there.
Okay, so a nuclear explosion can make a rock sand instead of turning it into a nuclear explosion. It's turning
You
a
just
rock.
said a while ago, Beatrix, that you don't have an explanation for it.
I did explain it though.
But it doesn't make sense. You say
She said she didn't know how big it was.
Repeat it in reality. Repeat it here on Earth.
Okay.
Well, this is
what generates the impact is the change of energy. You get, and that also generates heat.
Folks, it is the time that we have all been waiting for. For those who are familiar, you can only catch the full True Earth debate show typically on Rokfin. We do a good bit of it over here on YouTube, and it is free on Rokfin while we are live. So I do encourage all of you over on YouTube to go over to Rokfin and check it out. It's best in browser. And you can find me right here at Troubling Tribune. I left it in the chat for you, so feel free to jump on over. We're going to go ahead and end the stream for you, YouTube. And I will see you all on the other side.
Can you recreate that?